Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Campus Edge.
I think you mean welcome back.
I guess you're right.
Can we start over, please? We're having some trouble with the new guy.
Welcome back to the Campus Edge, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope everybody had a great winter break. I know I did.
That says summer break. Are you feeling okay?
Sorry, can we start over again? The rookie's really just throwing me off.
We're kind of short on time, Dom. Don't you think we should keep this going?
I suppose you're right. If you guys could edit all this out, that'd be great.
I'm sure they can. I know that I'm a freshman, but there's a piece on college advice I think you'd find beneficial.
Well, that's not the most exactly polite thing I've ever heard.
Come to think of it, you're looking pretty dingly. We have a story on the Dorado YMCA I think you might find beneficial.
How am I gangly? Look at me, I'm all muscle.
The YMCA might be a bit too much for you. We have a package of Butler's softball team, and you might be suited better there.
Softball is an intense sport. I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh, I didn't mean as a player. I meant more along the lines of a water boy or a manager.
You know what? You're starting to sound like a broken record that only plays one tune, Callous Insults.
Speaking of tunes, we have a piece on King Slug, a local band featuring a Butler student.
No disses on that one. Did I miss something?
Those stories and more insults here
On the Campus Edge.
here on the Campus Edge. Why don't we get right into advice for freshmen and returning sophomores? I know at least Dom can use it.
What advice could possibly be in this video that I don't already know?
Why don't we roll the package and find out?
I'm Campus Edge reporter Garrett Hartman, and as the fall semester begins, we understand that being away from home for the first time can be scary. So here's some information about Butler so you can make this campus your home away from home.
Our first interview was with freshman Emily Jardin about what she expects to get out of her first year of college.
I'm a very organized person, so I'm going to try and stay on top of everything and make sure that I am doing what I'm responsible to do.
Next, we interviewed head of student organizations, Andrea Miller, about why it is important to get involved in activities as well as any advice she had for students.
Statistics show that you're going to be more successful in the classroom if you are involved in more outside of the classroom. And especially if you're a new student, if you're a freshman here at Butler, the best way to meet people is to get out of your dorm room or your apartment or wherever you live and get involved in all the awesome organizations and activities that we have. It's the biggest organization that we have that meets every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock is Crew, our Campus Crusade for Christ. No matter if they're struggling with something or they're having the best day ever, it's just be you. And some students are like, well, I don't even know who I am. Okay, fair enough. Just keep trying. This is such an adventure. Sometimes you may feel blinded. But the best part about my job is what I get to do. I get to help all students figure out who they are. And it's not just about your life here at Butler. It's where you want to go if you go to a 4-year or even if you enter the workforce. It's a good journey, but even through the struggles and the dark shadows of whatever we experience, it's going to be okay. And nobody else can be you, so that's the best part, is just being who you are and figuring out who you are and just living life.
Finally, we caught up with sophomore Haley Smith and got some tips on how she learned to manage her time better.
Well, compared to my freshman year, I've learned to better, prioritize, so it helps when I need to get a bunch of stuff done, figure out what's done first, organize, figure stuff out, study. I study some.
Didn't see you there. Today, we interviewed freshman Emily Jardin about what she expects to get out of Butler. Then, we had a talk with Andrea Miller and learned how important it is to get involved with student activities, as well as general advice she had for all students. Finally,
We interviewed sophomore Haley Smith about how she learned to use her time more efficiently. Everyone here at BCTV hopes you take this advice and enjoys your fall semester. For BCTV Channel 20, I'm Garrett Hartman.
I suppose there were a few things that might come in handy.
I, for one, found it incredibly informative.
Well, I'm glad there was a lesson in there. I just wish they'd spent some little more time on freshman etiquette.
What type of etiquette are you referring to?
Oh, respecting seniority, general politeness.
I don't need a lesson on those. I'm well aware of social boundaries.
Then why do you keep bullying me?
Well, at the time I thought you could handle it, but I guess I was wrong. No worries, I'll let it go.
Well, thanks. What package do we have next?
Why don't we look to see how our softball team is doing?
This is Tyler Morgan with BCTV Channel 20, and me and a few friends of mine had decided to go question the Grizzlies softball team on how exactly they were able to win the national championship this past year.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy. It doesn't feel like we're national champions yet. I don't know, I feel like once we get our rings we will, but I feel it was a fun ride. I think that this year is going to be just the same, if not better. But just going on that win streak and going undefeated at home, it was super crazy. I think that we just had extremely good team chemistry, and we played really good as a team. And no matter what, we never got down on one another. We were always picking each other up if someone was down, and I think that really helped a lot.
A lot of times over the breaks where I know a lot of other schools probably weren't practicing, but we were in the weight room lifting and getting better, and we were out on the field just doing little things to make sure that every single day was we got something out of it, and we never took any day for granted.
Who would you say supported you the most throughout the season?
My biggest support system was probably just my team in general. There was not a single person on the team that I ever felt was disappointed in me or mad at me for making an error. And then it also helped that we have a lot of really good boosters that were at every single game. We have this guy, his name's Pat, that makes muffins for us. He even made them for today, which nobody was expecting, but every home game he was here with muffins and cookies and cake and stuff like that. So the community really supported us, and then the team in general really supported each other.
Definitely the boosters and our parents, they traveled to all the away games, and we had a ton of people in Utah. I think that really helped us when we made the run for the national championship.
Now that we've gotten some perspective from the sophomores on the team, what does the freshmen think?
Obviously, coming off of their win last year, that's huge, but upperclassmen and coaches are very, very welcoming. We're all loving it so far. We're just excited to get things going. Everyone's very welcoming here. And I don't know if it's really harder. I know the grind is a lot harder. We practice a lot more than we did for school ball or summer ball. We lift weights all the time, so that's definitely different for us, or for me anyways, but probably lifting weights.
Now, let's hop on over to the coaches and see what they have to say about their players.
It is kind of like a family. So, like I said, the player development, our strength conditioning, we've got Matt Sanders that helps us with strength and conditioning, and he used to work with Cincinnati Reds as a strength coach. There's not another JUCO in the country that offers what we do in that department. And, with all the Division I camps that Zach and I have worked, in fact, I used to be at Wichita State with Tim Walton, who's maybe the best coach in the country. We've seen how they do things, and we're doing things on a Division I level here. So it does prepare the kids when they leave here to go play at the highest level. When you have Alabama and University of Oklahoma calling you about your players, you know that everybody else is probably calling you too, and which is the case. We get dozens of calls every month, calls and emails and text messages from the Division I schools trying to recruit our players. So.
We will go as far as our chemistry allows us to go. If the girls stick together and lean on each other, I don't think there's a more talented team in the country. And I would bet my left arm that there isn't a team that's working harder than we are. The resources are in place. Barring any injuries, I don't think there's any doubt we'll get to Utah. And if we're peaking at the right time, this team has a real shot at winning a national championship.
Now for the most important question. What was the players' go-to food after a game?
We always went and got Taco Bell after games last year. I know that's super bad, we're not supposed to, but we did.
My favorite is chicken strip box from Dairy Queen. My mom and I usually get that after games.
Gambino's pizza, it's the best.
Teamwork can really lead to great things on the Grizzlies softball team, and has even created a whole new family of their own. This is Tyler Morgan with BCTV, signing off.
Wow, talk about girl power. That's some intense stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could handle that much practice.
Even if I could, I don't think I'd want to. I'd much rather stay at home and listen to my record collection.
I didn't know he had a vinyl record. Do you have anything cool?
Well, I only just started. So far, I have NSYNC Greatest Hits, Fred Durst's Basement Tapes, and Steven Seagal reading excerpts from Under Siege 2, Dark Territory's screenplay.
We now have a story on the recent vinyl resurgence. I really hope they have better taste in music than you.
I doubt it, but let's take a look at the package.
I'm investigative reporter Brian Harden with the Campus Edge, and today I'll be investigating the vinyl revival. Vinyl has been on the rise in the past few years with the younger generation, and I'm here to find out why. I asked a Butler student why they thought that vinyl was making a great comeback.
I have been listening to vinyl for 3 years now. My first record was Enter the Wu-Tang, also known as 36 Chambers by the Wu-Tang Clan. What I like about vinyl is probably it gets the mid-tones really well, not the lows as well as like an MP3 or a WAV file, but you just get this like nice tingy sounds when you listen to like some electric guitar or acoustic guitar. You get like, I don't know, you just get, it's real, it feels there more so than when you're just listening to something on headphones.
Next, I asked Spin It Again record shop owner Ed Swartz why he thought vinyl was making a comeback, what he likes about it, and what he would recommend to someone just getting into vinyl.
Well, the format of vinyl, the sound, more pure. You can hear more on a vinyl than you can on any other source. Cassette you can hear pretty good too, but it's just to have that mass vinyl in your hand, be able to see the label, set it on a turntable and play it, control it, listen to it, play it. Other forms you don't have no control over it, you just play it, or you just stick it in there. That's all it does. I feel it has something to do with the young generation catching on to the vinyl record. Maybe find an old record player in a closet and their dad pulls it out and they pull the record out and wipe it off and put it on there and you go, oh man, it's neater than heck. I like this. And then the kids start getting into garage sales, flea markets, and finding records, but they're really scratched up. They don't play very good, but they still like it. I think the higher demand of it, you got the new groups putting on, the young generation's new groups that they put music on vinyl now. Well, they got caught onto the vinyl, so the new groups put it on the vinyl, so now they're buying vinyl records of the new groups, like, you get Green Day and all that stuff, and all the Jack White material, White Stripes and Mumford & Sons, and then you get all the new releases of AC/DC, Metallica, Megadeth, and Guns N' Roses, and Grateful Dead. I think it's just that as a period increased of these young generation buying records more and more, I think the pressing companies raised up the production of vinyl. It's probably somebody Googled somewhere and it said CD only, and that probably, hey, how come you don't make LP on that? If you're just getting into it, get you something that's inexpensive and don't cost that much, just in case you decide it's not for you, because it could be.
That's about it. For the Campus Edge, I'm investigative reporter Brian Harden, signing off.
I knew they couldn't have better taste than me. Why don't you calm your envy over my collection for a second and check out these commercials? We'll be right back.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Brett was forced to change, becoming another statistic to the economy. But he knew he didn't have to be another number. Butler gave Brett the power to retrain as an individual. So, at 44, Brett found the power of personal attention, small class size, and an education at half the cost. For Brett, those are the sort of numbers that kept him from becoming one. Brett found a fresh start at 44. He discovered his power at Butler. How will power change you?
Everybody in this story had way better taste than you. Let's be real.
I thought you were trying to be nice. What happened to that?
I thought you might have some semblance of taste. I can deal with you being gangly and weak, but seriously, Fred Durst?
This is getting really personal. Can we keep this professional, please?
Okay, professional it is. Why don't we move on to our next package?
That seems like a good idea. This one covers King Slug, a local band.
Fun piece of trivia, that band was actually named after Dom.
Let's see the package.
Pop music has been the predominant genre lately, but what about rock? Do you think rock's dead? Well, you're wrong. It's still alive in Leon, Kansas. Let's go check it out.
We are
King Slug.
We all met mostly back in high school. They knew each other from high school, and he kind of brought him over.
I came up with it in my bedroom when I was 17 years old. There's a lot of artists that I wanted to rip off, like King Cruel, King Tough, King B-Word.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, that one too. A lot of bands that I like to rip off, so incorporated that. I actually started out playing solo folk stuff in my bedroom, and that's kind of where like most of the songs off the first album kind of lead almost. And about 2 years of doing solo stuff, I incorporated these guys to get a fuller sound and represent the music how it's supposed to be.
396 days and 5 hours, right?
Is how long we've been together.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I started playing when I was about 16 years old.
Probably junior high. Sometimes when I started playing.
I started getting interested in the drums in like 7th grade, and then just slowly progressed from there.
Yeah, I started playing in middle school when my brother taught me.
The sort of genre we play is probably psychedelic grunge rock. It's probably the most common title we get on our shows.
Or you could describe us as an aggressive coffee house.
Yeah. That's pretty Whatever works.
We practice for about 4 or 5 hours, 2 times a week, Monday and Wednesday. We've performed all over ICT. Some of our favorite spots would be Kirby's, Tuma Tunes, and
Donut Hole.
Donut Hole and Mead's Corner. Really cool places.
Going to shows is probably the best way to really hear about us, learn about us. We're getting a bit of an internet following. It's slow, but it's getting there. Just
also, our albums are on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, the internet. You can find it.
Bandcamp.
Do you still think rock is dead? It seems pretty alive to me. Thanks for watching Campus Edge for BCTV 20. This is Jessica Morgan.
We'll be back after this message. In the meantime, try to think of some sick burns for Dom.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Nowhere in that video did they mention that they named their band after me. You can't just lie like that to the public.
Sure I can. Politicians do it all the time anyway. That was some knowledge I was given behind the scenes.
I'm sure it was. Our last piece covers the El Dorado YMCA, a great place to get a workout.
How would you know?
I have a membership. That's my gym.
Your parents leaving you in the preschool doesn't exactly qualify as a gym. But let's take a look at the story anyway.
This is Campus Edge reporter Ryan Harbour, and today we will be looking at the newly renovated El Dorado YMCA.
Yep, actually I've worked for the Greater Wichita YMCA for 11 years. I've worked at 2 other locations besides El Dorado, so I've been at the East Branch and the West Branch. The great thing about the YMCA coming into El Dorado was that the community actually had to raise the money to get the YMCA to come out here. So they worked really hard to come together and do that. To kind of put it better, I feel like the YMCA is the community hub. People like to come here, they socialize, they get to meet a whole bunch of other people throughout the community. So what we did for expansion is we added 2 more basketball courts, a larger studio. We actually doubled size in our free weight area. We did some tile work up front here and all the way through the hall. We expanded on the kids zone, and we also did some renovation in our aquatics area. The renovation, I love being able to see I was a sports director, so I love seeing the new basketball courts. They're really awesome. And they have tons of basketball goals in there, so that's one of my favorite parts. So we were at one time, I think, 58,000 square feet, and now we've gone up to 65 or 70,000 square feet. So, when I first got here, we had limited space, and we heard that from the members that it was very hard to be up in the weight room. Also, our basketball courts, they were being used usually for some programming, so the community wasn't able to use our facility the way they wanted to. So with us doing that expansion, it's been able to open it up, offer up more programs, just more area for everyone to use. One thing I think the YMCA that we're trying to work on right now is a lot of collaborations and partnerships with other companies. I think that's what we need in this community. We all need to work together to better everybody here. So if we can move in that direction, I think that will be able to bring more people into the Y and let them know what we offer.
In the community, it's huge. It gives moms a chance to have just a couple hours to themselves, to where they can go better themselves and work on themselves while their kids are in here and having a safe place. Well, the Kids Zone beforehand, we were still fairly a new branch, so we didn't need so much space. As we're growing into our community, we are having a lot more members come into our branch and using this almost as a community hub. And with that, there's a lot more kids, so the space that we needed was to expand, so we had room for all the kids to be in here. The Kids Zone's about 500 so square feet more than what it was. My favorite part, all the kids that come in, being here for almost 5 years, you get to see the kids come in as newborn babies and see them grow and go to kindergarten, and it's just cool to make those relationships with the kids and to make those with the moms and the dads and the grandparents that come in, and to have that connection with all the parents.
Now that you've had a look at the new YMCA, maybe you'd like to come see it for yourself. This has been Campus Edge reporter Ryan Harbour. Now let's take it back to the studio.
Wow, I guess you're right. The play center isn't the same thing as the gym.
Hey there, man. I was only joking.
No, it's okay. There's a reason my parents don't let me play with the big kid equipment yet.
Oh man, I feel really bad now. Are you being serious?
Well, no, I made that up, but at least you feel bad.
I got so caught up in being a bully, I didn't stop to think if it was actually hurting your feelings.
Bullying is never okay, Marbella. You're just lucky you learned your lesson from somebody as strong as me. If anyone watching is being bullied and needs to talk, you can always call the bullying hotline, 1-800-273-TALK.
Be sure to check out the reruns this show's weekdays at 11 a.m. or last week's show at 6:30 on the BCTV Channel 20.
Or you can check them all out on our YouTube channel.
This has been
The Campus Edge.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of El Dorado, Kansas, to the Campus Edge.
Today, we'll be covering the 2016 presidential election.
I don't think we have any stories over that.
Regardless, I think it's important for everyone to stay updated.
Well, to be honest, I haven't really been keeping up with it.
That shocks me because you just did a story in college survival, and I feel like our survival hinges on this election.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's not get too political here.
I'm not getting political. I just want to live an old life, not a young life.
Did you just set up a terrible segue for your story over the Methodist Church's Young Life program?
Yeah, I did. Just like our new quarterbacks are setting up winning plays for the season.
Your shameless wordplay is horrendous, but I have to admit, it's keeping the show on track.
Well, if it's track you like, then be sure you pay attention to our piece in a go-kart track in East Wichita.
After that, why not enjoy a relaxing trip to the pop-up park? All that and more on the Campus Edge. So Karen, do you watch football?
Oh yeah, I love soccer.
No, Karen, American football. You were just ranting about the election being important for everyone to know about, and now you don't even know what country we're in.
Sorry, I'm clearly not informed enough on this subject. Let's see Tyler's Morgan piece on Butler's quarterbacks.
Hello, I'm Campus Edge reporter Adam Denton, with you in front of the Champions Training Center right here on Butler's campus.
And we're here to question the Butler quarterbacks. Why did they become quarterbacks instead of any other position?
I grew up playing a lot of baseball, and I had a really strong arm when I was younger. So, I mean, that kind of just, I started football in 4th grade, so I decided to start playing quarterback, and then I started to run the ball a lot, so I played running back mostly my whole life until I went to Derby, and then they moved me back to quarterback just so I could throw, and I was a lot bigger than a lot of people because I hit my growth spurt early. So then they moved back to quarterback because I had a really strong arm, and then ever since then I just kind of fell in love with the position. I just love leading the offense and being the guy in charge.
You know, at first I was playing athlete because I was kind of athletic, and then my friends always told me I had a strong arm and I should try it. So in 8th grade, our quarterback had got hurt, but I was playing DB at the time, so they had to play me at quarterback, but I was only like 5'5". But I was the smallest one out there, you know, showing my ability at quarterback, showing my arm off, so that's what made me stick to it.
Try to put yourself in their shoes. It's the big game. The crowd is waiting for you and judging your every move. How do you prepare yourself mentally for that?
You know, every day I practice. I mean, it's a battle. I mean, you know, once you get to the collegiate level, you know, everything's a competition. Every day you have to go out and you got to show that you got to earn your job every day. And it's plain and simple. But you know, competition makes everyone better. So that's good to have out there. It makes the team better. You know, you always stay loose on the sideline. You know, you're not really just coming out just, you know, lackadaisical and stuff. I mean, you're always somewhat warm. I mean, the adrenaline's always going. But you just have to be ready because eventually your time's going to come and you're going to have to jump in there and make something happen.
I like to visualize a lot. Visualization. I did that a lot in high school. Our head coach told us to make a movie. So when you visualize yourself doing something, there's a good chance it helps you do it in a real game. You just gotta stay dialed in at all times. Like, I mean, you gotta stay warm on the sideline. You gotta stay calm first of all. You can't tense up, and you just gotta know you're one snap away, and you just gotta stay warm on the sideline. Keep throwing, keep your legs loose, and just know that you're one snap away from going in.
You know, my coach, he gives us the script for practice, you know, so I know what's coming, what we're gonna do. Every day it's kind of like the same thing, so, you know, I think I'd be good in practice. I look at how they come, I watch the film, see what kind of tendencies they do, like how they line up, if they're gonna blitz or not. But when it comes to the contact, the physical standpoint of it, I love getting hit sometimes. You know, sometimes you just got to get hit to get woken up. But you know, when guys coming at you full speed, make them miss and make plays.
And competition, you know, breeds success. That they're either going to compete with each other, but they're also really, really good friends. I mean, you know, off the field, they hang out with each other, and that's good for the room. You know, you got to have that competition, but at the same time, you got to have guys that can stand to be around each other. And it's a day-to-day thing. It's not going to be just a game-to-game thing. It's going to be every day in practice. They got to come prove, you know, why they deserve to be playing.
For Campus Edge, I'm Adam Denton.
And I'm Tyler Morgan.
Wow, I really feel like I learned something from that piece.
Isn't that kind of the point of it?
Of course, but this piece made me feel one with football. American football, that is.
Sounds like you've had a kind of religious experience.
Not quite. 2 in 1 show is a bit much, don't you think?
What do you mean?
How about we show my piece on the Young Life Youth Group to clear things up for you?
If you've never heard of Young Life before, the best way to explain it is it's an environment to help you
understand who Jesus is and why Jesus actually brings life, hence the name Young Life. The activities that we do here at Young Life are highly relational. We do a lot of games and interactive elements during our club time, and it's a lot of fun. Anybody can come to Young Life. It's open to anybody and everybody. You don't have to be special because everybody's special. The goal of College Young Life is to create an environment for students to build relationships and exit their college years with a really solid foundation for their beliefs and values and character. The best way to get involved in Young Life is to just come on a Thursday night at 7:30 here at Community Life Church. You don't want to miss that.
Wow, what an informative piece.
Karen, you made that piece.
Oh, sorry. I must have hurt my head with all this go-karting I've been doing.
Go-karting? Don't we have a piece on that?
Let's find out. Roll the package.
This is Campus Edge reporter Andrew Lillard here in the east side of Wichita at Extreme Racing and Entertainment. Let's go for a ride.
When we opened June 11th, 2016. Well, we have a store in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. That's our first store, and it was doing very successful, so we started looking for a demographic that showed potential for growth, you know, need for entertainment, stuff like that. So Wichita actually was, you know, the next best possible location because it was also logistically possible for us to drive from point A to point B in 3 hours, so it made more, better decisions. It's either that or Arkansas, so Wichita won out. Well, I've worked for the people that own this company. It's a family-owned company. I actually worked for them for over 10 years at a printing company. I was a graphics and production manager, and we all decided to get out of printing at the same time. So the idea was we owned a building down there. We were trying to come up with a concept that would actually fit, because it was an old Walmart building. So like, what do we do with the Walmart building? It's like indoor racing carts, So then they asked me if I'd come back and manage it for them. So I've been working for them now over a year and a half in this industry here. The carts that we have here, these are electric racing carts. They have a potential top speed of 45 miles an hour. The safety concerns we have for this, people need to understand and respect the speed. These aren't the little kiddie go-karts that you see out at some of the little amusement places out there, because these are full-blown racing carts. They're built over in Italy. They race them over there on circuits over there. And I said that top speed of 45 miles an hour, the adult cart's a 500-pound machine, so people have to respect that speed. And they have to realize the brake is their friend out there. You can't full throttle all the way through the course. But while they're out there, though, I have marshals that control the races, so we control the speeds of each one of these carts, remote control. If somebody shows that they can't control the cart, we'll give them a couple opportunities to navigate the course properly at a lower speed. If they keep it up, then we end up pulling them out. Well, we want to try and energize the community, give them something different from an entertainment perspective. The normal stuff of laser tag, paintball, something like that. We wanted to bring something that was completely different. These racing carts, these aren't the normal ones you see. Most of the ones that most people experience are the outdoor gas carts. This is a lot better experience. You don't have the fumes from the gas. You don't have the hot motor sitting right next to you. So you get that benefit of that right there. So I just wanted to energize the community with something different. Well, I encourage all the staff there and all the students there to come out and race. We're set up to do team events, team building, stuff like that. we actually help promote that stuff. Like matter of fact, we just had a Coleman Industries, they're a big, huge industry here in air conditioning and heating and air and stuff like that. They had a facility rental yesterday for like a customer rollout, and then they're coming out tomorrow again for 3 hours. And so we have a model set up to where it gives something different from a team building aspect, So it's like, especially the competitive sports, you guys want to start, after football or, any type of school activity, come out and race.
All right, this has been Campus Edge reporter Andrew Lillard. Maybe it's a new place for your new weekend activities. I don't know. We'll see.
Hold onto your seat. The Campus Edge will be right back after this commercial break.
Here we go, another day, another early start with lots of stops. And it goes. But today is one day closer to working normal hours, earning more money, paying off bills, and making my girls proud. I can do this. Today might be tough, but tomorrow will be better.
At Butler Community College, your tomorrow is closer than you think. Enroll today for spring classes. Butler Community College. Let's take tomorrow.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
You can catch the reruns of this show weekdays.
Karen, what are you doing?
I was trying to say my line until you really interrupt me.
Karen, we still got 2 more pieces to get through. Are you sure you didn't get a concussion while riding go-karts?
You know, I have been feeling pretty dizzy the past few days. Maybe you're right.
Well, I'm just trying to look out for you and make sure you survive.
Speaking of survival, didn't you do a piece on how to survive in college?
Why, yes, I did. Maybe it'll help you out. Let's roll the package for your health.
Gross.
College can be a tough time. I can promise you will struggle. If you follow these tips, you're 80% less likely to fail in college, according to a study I just made up. I'm Campus Edge reporter Emily Jordan, and today we're looking at tips to help you stay afloat. Oh. Rule number 1, say hello to a stranger. The main cause for people failing in college is that they keep to themselves and don't connect with others. Friendship is important. Rule number 2, don't be afraid to get involved. Having a group of people that you connect with will make you more outgoing and enhance your college experience. Hey, you should come to the radio station with us.
Why would I do that?
Here, sit down right here.
What's up, bro?
I mean, I'm kind of hungry, I guess.
Do you like McDonald's?
Yeah, kind of.
I hate McDonald's.
Wait, what?
What?
How do you hate McDonald's?
Friendship!
Hey man, wanna come to this thing? Sure.
Rule number 3, get out of your comfort zone. The only way to explore your possibilities at college is to do what you normally wouldn't do.
Stop following me.
If you follow these tips, I can promise you that you will probably succeed. For BCTV Channel 20, I'm Emily Jordan.
Wow, Emily, you made me feel like I could survive anything.
Don't get any more ideas, Karen. I think you've been through enough lately. Why don't you just take it easy?
Right. And how would you suggest I do that?
Gee, I don't know. Maybe something that doesn't require a helmet to avoid potential brain damage?
I don't know. Danger is kind of my middle name. I think I would just get bored if my well-being wasn't at stake somehow.
Well, I really think you should do something safe, like go to the park or something. I think Brian actually has a piece on a park you might like.
The Pop-Up Urban Park in Wichita is a fun place to spend time by yourself or with friends. It's located in the downtown Wichita area, located at 121 East Douglas Avenue. It's a great place to grab a bite to eat from various different food trucks, ride on a cool chalk wall, and enjoy some live music. Its grand opening was back in September of 2015, and since then it has been a big hit. Everyone loves it, and it's obvious why. The atmosphere is something that people can enjoy, and everything about the pop-up park ties into that. This park turned what used to be an eyesore into a beautiful addition to downtown Wichita. What the pop-up park replaced used to be referred to as the Hole, so let's just say this is a major improvement. Another neat thing about the park is that it offers a way for food trucks to get better exposure. Every day the park has around 4 food trucks to choose from, serving lunch from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., and sometimes they have trucks that serve dinner starting at 6. You can stay ahead of the game by following the park on Facebook, where they update what trucks will be there. We talked to Matthew Parcher of Bade Truck to get an inside look at one of the food trucks.
We've been coming to the pop-up park since last winter, and we do one day a week. There's about 30 food trucks in Wichita that come to the pop-up park. So we just attend the meetings every month, and then we determine which day for that month we'll be here. This is a sandwich truck, but our staple's the chicken nacho. That's our most popular item. But we've had the pulled pork in the past. We have a picture of the smokehouse, which is a meatloaf sandwich, on the other side of the truck. That was kind of a staple there for a while. We change our menu every month, but the nachos always stay consistent. People like coming here for the nachos. Every day while we're here, we probably serve anywhere from 30 to 50 people every day.
Now that's just one truck out of usually 2 to 4, getting that many happy customers in such a small time frame. So it sounds like if you're looking for a cool new place to grab some lunch, just want somewhere new to hang out, or need an idea to take that special someone on a fun-filled date that will make them say wow, then the pop-up park might be what you're looking for. It's a popular place to try some great food trucks, listen to live music, and enjoy the view. Make sure to check out their Facebook page if you're interested. They keep it updated daily with what's going on. So there you have it. The Pop-Up Urban Park is officially poppin'. For BCTV 20, I'm Dominic Ebersole.
Eat your truck food fast, because we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education?
What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job?
Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher.
You got the skills, the smarts.
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess?
What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Time to think about dinner, and I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. It takes a lot of passion to make the perfect meal. But today is one day closer to becoming a chef and owning my own restaurant. It's gonna be a great day and an even better tomorrow.
At Butler Community College, your tomorrow is closer than you think. Enroll now for classes. Butler Community College. Let's take tomorrow.
See, Karen, doesn't that look like fun?
I guess so. It could use more danger, though. Maybe some flaming chainsaw jugglers or something to spice it up a little.
You're impossible to satisfy, you know that.
That's not true. I can be satisfied.
Oh, really? How did you like our Campus Edge stories today?
I was happily surprised. We got to see a piece about Butler's new quarterbacks,
A piece on the Young Life Youth Group,
a look at the fast-paced thrill ride of a new go-kart track in Wichita.
and finally, we got some tips on how to survive college as well as info on an urban park in Wichita.
I think I need to go get my head checked out, but in the meantime, check out the reruns of this show weekdays at 11 a.m. or last week's show at 6:30 p.m. on VCTV Channel 20.
Or you can check them all out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/ButlerRadioTV.
This has been
The Campus Edge.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of El Dorado, Kansas, to the Campus Edge.
This week we'll be making no quippy remarks about the delivery of the opening line.
That's great to hear. Honestly, I think the shtick has gotten a little bit old.
I couldn't agree more. We have retooled our show into a much more formal and business-oriented one.
Indeed, we're dealing with some serious themes. After all, 'tis the season.
I'm not sure if people often address Halloween in that manner, but we can roll with it.
Sorry, I was caught up in trying to sound professional. To get back on track, we have our first interview with the police officer this semester. What could be more informal than that?
Well, the interview is in a piece on Halloween candy and safety tips, but it is certainly there.
We have a story on the El Dorado Judgment House. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds deathly serious.
You mean you didn't hear? That's where they take the old campus edges and tear them apart.
Oh, really? Well, not nervous about that at all.
I'm just punking you anyways. You'll see when we show the package.
Speaking of pumpkin, we have a story on Pumpkin Patch.
Well, I guess our new tone went out the window. We'll be back with the good old puns and jokes.
I'll take the fall for this one.
I've got fall covered. I interviewed some of the Butler students as to what they loved most about fall.
Well, that's a relief. I thought I was going to have to do community service, like clean up trash at a basketball game or something.
Basketball isn't so bad. We even have a piece as to what to expect from the women's basketball team this season.
I know. I'd just rather catch a horror flick than pick up trash. Only problem is I don't know which to see.
How about some of the old classics playing at the Old Town Warren?
We even have that and so much more covered on the Campus Edge. When does basketball season start?
I thought you didn't care about basketball. Did something happen in the last 27 seconds?
Let's just say I might be getting in trouble for something entirely non-campus ed related, and I want to be prepared to face potential consequences.
Well, if that's the case, we might as well take a look at the package and find out.
I'm Sean Boston with BCTV Channel 20, and today we're going to go ahead and take a look inside the women's basketball program and as they prepare for the upcoming season.
Yeah, we went down this past weekend and played Odessa, South Plains, both from Texas, and Crowder from Missouri. And, you know, I have high expectations for this team because we have a lot returning, but, you know, with the flood situation and lack of practice time, I was really worried going down there. But our kids played really well. In the first game against Odessa, we won by roughly 15 points on a running clock, you know, played really well, great defensively down there. South Plains, we were down at to half by 2 and came back in the second half to win it, and I was really pleased with that one. Crowder, we won by 4. We were just out of gas, and I think that was one of those deals where we, you know, struggled from the standpoint of lack of practice time and some preparation time because of the floor situation.
Butler has already used 3 different practice locations before the regular season has even started. They've used Andover High School, El Dorado Rec Center, and the auxiliary gym on the Butler campus.
It's been tough because, again, the court sizes are different. You know, the college level is a bigger court than what the high school level has, and then our small gym, it's real small. So there's a reason we call it the small gym. But, you know, we keep saying no excuses, and we just got to get ready and play, and we just do the best we can with the circumstances that we were given.
Jayhawk Conference made a change this year that will require each team to play every other team in the conference, both home and away, one game each place. So instead of more non-conference games, there's now 26 conference games.
You know, it'll be new for everybody. I'll be real honest here. I'm not happy with it. I don't like the new schedule. I did not vote for it. I did not want that. I think we have top to bottom. We have the deepest conference in the country, and I think having to play everybody twice is going to hurt our at-large bids. But you know, so we're kind of looking at it like you got to go win the league, go win the conference, win the region. You know, in our league, it's so tough. You're never going to have that kind of tune-up game, if you will. You got to just be ready to go night in, night out. And you know, like the first 2 games of the year, we go out to Garden City and then we play Seward. Like, wow, no favors there. You know, that's 2 great games to start the conference season, and you only get 3 games to get ready. You know, we're used to playing 11 games to get ready for conference, so it's going to be a huge adjustment for everybody. It's funny you bring back you talk about the returners, because everybody's been asking me how we're handling the flood. The reason we're handling it is because we've got great core group back. If this would have been last year, it would have been a train wreck, I'm afraid, with that many freshmen. But to have this many back and a couple transfers that have already played at a high level, you know, and then you throw in 2 new ones, we're excited. We think, I think that's part of the reason we went down and played well, because those kids, majority of our team knew what to expect. They'd all played there last year. And, you know, I have great expectations for this team. Sophomores really do a good job, and they need to continue to carry the load for us.
As you heard it, the women's basketball team will not be playing their first couple games here inside the power plant due to the floods in July and September. Instead, they will be playing at other locations. But make sure to come out and check out a women's basketball game this year, as they have high expectations for the year. This has been a BCTV Channel 20 production.
Any of your questions?
A few. Sure enough, I mean.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm just growing a little anxious.
Are you still freaked out about that Judgment House joke I pulled?
No, it's really not that.
Well, even if you failed to follow through with my transition, we still have a great story to show on it.
It's called a segue.
What is?
The transition you were referring to, it's called a segue.
Transition, segue, who cares? Let's take a tour of the Judgment House and see if you're still feeling snarky.
Halloween is almost here. But what do you think about when you think about Halloween besides trick-or-treating and jack-o'-lanterns? That's right, haunted houses. But not every haunted house is just spooky ghosts and skeletons. Some have an actual meaning behind them. One of these special types of haunted houses, called Judgment House, is located at the First Baptist Church right here in El Dorado. I'm Campus Edge reporter Ryan Harbor, and I gotta have a little chat with Barbara Day for a little more insight on Judgment House.
My name is Barbara Day, B-A-R-B-A-R-A, last name D-A-Y. I'm in charge of promotion, marketing, just in general, just all of the advertising for Judgment House, mailing of packets to all the churches in the area. And then I'm also in charge of the registration part of it, and I'm the one you see at the desk when you come in to check in every night. Judgment House is described as a walk-through live drama that presents the truth of people's choices versus the consequences of those decisions, both in this life and the next. It includes 7 scenes, and you walk from scene to scene, and you're involved in the interaction of the actors in that scene. And then it usually takes about an hour to complete. I have been involved in Judgment House we've had productions for 6 years, and I've been involved from the beginning. I have 2 adult children that are involved in it, and they're the ones that were on the team that brought this to First Baptist Church. Judgment House is designed to present the plan of salvation to many people. It allows people to walk through and from room to room and interact with everyday people and situations that could happen to any of us, and understand the consequences of not choosing to accept Christ as your Savior and live your life as Christ would ask us to do that. It has a theme, and I know some people might call it like a scared straight type thing, which it can be reviewed as that. We've had people that's come out of the hell scene that it's so realistic to them at that point that it really hits home with them. And that is the purpose of it.
Now that you've gotten a taste of Judgment House, maybe you'd like to go see it for yourself. This has been Campus Edge reporter Ryan Harbor. Now let's take it back to the studio.
You doing okay there, Dom?
Me? Yeah, I'm fine. That totally didn't make me feel bad about anything I don't want to talk about.
At this point, I don't really care. People who constantly bring up things but won't talk about it just want attention.
I really don't. I'm just having trouble working this out. And hey, you have a piece on what people like about fall, right?
As a matter of fact, I do. Do you want to see it?
Well, not really, but I'm sure our audience would.
I'm sure they would as well. Let's take a look.
As fall's coming around the corner, let's check out Butler students' fall favorite festivities.
One of my favorite things to do in the fall, that would probably be camping outdoors. I like to watch college football, like to go to the games. I like to tailgate. I like to kayak in the fall. The water's cool. It's nice.
Rake leaves and like homework.
Least favorite thing about fall is that it doesn't last longer.
I don't have a least favorite thing. Everything's awesome in fall. The leaves and the pumpkins and like the weather, just everything.
Is fall your favorite season? Why or why not?
It absolutely is my favorite season, and I'll tell you why. It's my favorite season because, well, the aforementioned atmosphere of fall and the chill weather and the falling leaves, and it's football season, so that's another great reason for fall to be my favorite season.
Are there any restaurants that change their menu for fall?
Well, I mean, every gas station, it seems like, or convenience store comes out with a pumpkin spice latte around these times, and obviously coffee shops do as well.
What is the best thing to eat in fall in your opinion?
Ramen noodles.
P.F. Chang's.
Why is that?
Because it's delicious.
Chili, obviously.
I'm going to say 3 words, and you're going to say the first thing that pops into mind, okay? Fall.
Football.
Orange.
Brown.
Basic.
Yep. Me?
Uggs. Her.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Do you enjoy pumpkin spice yourself?
It's a guilty pleasure of mine, yes.
Weather.
Cold.
Cold.
Describe the perfect pumpkin.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like my pumpkins kind of like a watermelon that has been stood up on its side, so it's not real round, it's more elongated. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's got, like a not a super hooked stem, but just slightly curved.
Big, thick, and orange.
Nice, small, and very thin. Orange.
Thank you for watching. This is BCTV 20. I'm Jessica Morgan. So, fall.
Potato.
Cold.
You too.
Ready? Fall.
Fall. Oh.
Actually, I thought of spring, but...
We'll be right back after this short message. In the meantime, I'll try my best to calm down Dom.
Just so everyone watching knows, I've worked out some of this on my own, and I'm willing to face whatever consequences lay before me.
Stop being such a buzzkill, Dom. Remember when you said you liked horror movies earlier? We have a package for that.
So much has changed since then, Jessica. I don't have time for such endeavors right now.
You've gone pathetic to pretentious. Personally, I preferred the former.
I will play by the rules, though. After all, I only have so many stories left to introduce.
Great, now you're managing to be both. Do you want to hear these stories? Or not? You dream.
I believe I do.
Okay. Well, let's see it.
Hello, I'm Campus Edge reporter Tyler Morgan, and with Halloween just around the corner, I wanted to see some spooky movies in the theater. Luckily, Wichita Big Screen is hosting the Halloween event of the year by hosting horror movies at the Old Town Warren.
What's Wichita Big Screen? Well, about 5 years ago, I started helping put on the October at the Old Town Horror Festival. And we had great turnouts, and we went through the first 3 years. And I wanted to expand it to go start doing movies in the middle of the summer and fall. And so what we did, our first couple of films are very successful, Sorcerer and Walter Hill's The Warriors. And after that, I formed this group, Wichita Big Screen, as a core initiative to continue promoting and bringing movies like that to the area. We have about 1,900 members. We're just based on Facebook, on a group on Facebook. But we've been promoting not just our films, but everything in the area. The Tall Grass Film Festival, the Orpheum up in Hutchinson, Augusta, the Palace Theater, even the drive-in whenever they do special screenings. So it's just supposed to be working as a news hub. So people who are interested in supporting offbeat, retro, indie, foreign, documentaries, anything that's non-mainstream, it's a place they can go and hopefully at a glance see what's showing in the area this week.
You seem to be very passionate about Phantasm. Where does that passion come from?
Well, Phantasm, I saw Phantasm when I was 12 years old. I actually had tried several times to see it in the theater and then even the drive-in, but for different reasons, those attempts failed. So I finally saw it in the middle of the night on HBO. This is before HBO was 24 hours. So they actually called it HBO late night when the movie started at like 12 or 1 a.m. And it just blew my mind. There really are, even today, no movies like Phantasm because it blends genres unlike any other movies that have come since. It has sci-fi, fantasy, action, adventure, has comedy, and actually personal drama. A lot of people don't credit it for enough, but it actually has these really kind of deep relationships between the characters. This movie is very influential. J.J. Abrams, the guy who made the new Star Wars movies and the Star Treks, he quotes it as one of his favorite films also. He cites it as one of his favorite films. And he undertook it as a project of a labor of love, if you will, to remaster it. And they took the actual camera negative and they did a 4K scan and full restoration. While they were working on the special effects for Star Wars and Star Trek, in the off hours, he had his same team clean up Phantasm. So it's not just me who loves this movie. And it just meant a lot. When I heard that there was a chance for theatrical, I started hounding Coscarelli right away because I knew it was a long shot for Wichita to get it. But I hammered the Warren Theater guys, I hammered Coscarelli, and just made it happen. There was just no way we weren't going to get it. The audience was just fantastic. And I'll be honest, I mean, frankly, I think it was the happiest in-theater movie experience of my adult life, watching Phantasm Remastered. I mean, the energy in the room was great. It just was a fantastic time.
Is this the kind of atmosphere one can expect from the showings?
The screenings that we do for the October at the Old Town Horror Festival often have that kind of happy energy. The wait staff here at the theater says they really love it when we do our shows because it's just a completely different dynamic than the regular movies when they show them. And it's just people love the movies, they respect the movies. People still talk during them, and I wish they didn't, but usually it's not, that's actually not always the case. I mean, like most films. Lots of times we have a very respectful audience, but they're still really amped up for it.
So hop on over to Old Town if you want a memorable horror film experience. Showings for future movies are as follows. Monday, October 17th at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. is Friday the 13th. Tuesday, October 18th at 7 p.m. is a double feature of The Fly and House on Haunted Hill. Monday and Tuesday of October 24th and 25th at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. is a 4K restoration of Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. And last but not least is the grand showing of Halloween 1 and 2 on Monday and Tuesday, October 31st and November 1st. Double feature at 7 p.m. This is Campus Edge reporter Tyler Morgan. Now let's take it back to the studio.
Wish I'd seen this video earlier. I probably could have made it to a few of those.
But what good is a train if it never leaves the station?
Almost as good as an anchor that never introduces the packages.
I was going to say as good as a pumpkin in July, but I'll take that too. Speaking of pumpkins, why don't we take a look at this story by Brian Harden?
I'm Campus Edge reporter Brian Harden for BCTV Channel 20, and today I'll be showing you Walter's Pumpkin Patch. Located about 10 minutes north of El Dorado on US 77, Walter's Pumpkin Patch offers many activities to be explored.
Back in about 1988 was the first known dated thank you note from a school child. So we assume that we started in 1988 with our school kids and our school groups. And that's what was the beginning of Walter's Pumpkin Patch. Now we did it as a hobby for many years, and then 2004 we decided, hey, we're going to do this as a business on my husband's family farm, And so we registered with the state of Kansas and got started from there. What made me want to open a pumpkin patch? My goodness. I was a city gal. I married the farmer. I wasn't any good with livestock. Horses and cattle still scare me to death. I can't drive a tractor, so the only thing I could do was play in the dirt. And at the time I worked at Sibley's greenhouse in El Dorado, that's now Prairie Blossom, I believe. And my boss asked me if he could get me some little pumpkin seeds, if I might be interested in planting them. So that's what started Walter's Pumpkin Patch. We have 73 acres of attractions. Everything from, here we go, the corn maze, 2 jumping pillows, the underground slide, the treehouse, pedal boats, pedal cars, trike, and the list goes on. Lots of things for all ages. We also do a haunted cannery on Friday and Saturday nights during the month of October. That's a whole nother entity and expansion of our business. We also do a flashlight maze with that. The flashlight maze, it's not haunted, but there's nothing any scarier than walking through the dark in a corn maze at night. So a lot of different things that we offer. We open the 3rd weekend in September, which this year it was September the 17th. And then we're open every day from 10 in the morning till 7 at night, except Sundays we open from 1 to 7 through October 31st.
Walters also offers an array of homemade food items.
One of our value-added products, we now have a pumpkin-shaped canning jar. We're the only one in the world with that jar. We use it for our pumpkin salsa, pumpkin pie filling. We're doing a new salsa verde, which gives us a green pumpkin. And then we do a cream of pumpkin soup, a powdered mix in it. So we do have unique products here at the Patch too. As long as we're having fun, we will continue. My husband and I are both past retirement age, so like I said, it's something that we could retire, but as long as we're having a good time, we'll keep right on going. Future plans, probably someday it'll be sold, maybe an up-and-coming ag student who wants to farm and do something else, and maybe that perfect person will come along one of these days.
Now that you've seen what all Walters has to offer, you might want to take a visit yourself. Just make sure to get in before October 31st when the season ends. For the Campus Edge, I'm reporter Brian Harden, signing off. Now back to the studio.
During this short message, try to name all the uses of a pumpkin outside of the month of October. I'll give you 2 easy ones: pumpkin flax granola and pumpkin pie.
Here we go, another day, another early start with lots of stops and goes. But today is one day closer to working normal hours, earning more money, paying off bills, and making my girls proud. I can do this. Today might be tough, but tomorrow will be better.
At Butler Community College, your tomorrow is closer than you think. Enroll today for spring classes. Butler Community College. Let's take tomorrow.
Well, in case you missed any, don't forget about my personal favorite, pumpkin bread.
I'm so confused about your behavior tonight.
Well, that makes 2 of us. This has been a roller coaster for me as well.
Are you still struggling with whatever it was?
As a matter of fact, it's very painful, and underneath this handsome smile, every nerve in my body is fighting the nearly uncontrollable urge to vomit.
You know what also causes most vomiting around Halloween? Children and sometimes adults consuming too much candy. Why don't we take a look at the piece on Halloween safety?
The leaves are falling, and fall is in full swing. You know what that means. Christmas? No, not Christmas. Not yet. It means Halloween and all the treats that come from a night out trick-or-treating. And who doesn't love that? But today, I'm setting out to find out what treats people hated getting most as trick-or-treaters. Being the radio fanatic that I am, naturally, I started with my buddies down at 88.1 The Grizz.
My least favorite Halloween treat is probably, I would say, Jawbreakers.
I don't really have a least favorite. The one that weirds me out is the weird caramel one with the cream in the middle, because I don't know what the cream is, and I never honestly had one. They just creep me out. I don't know. They're weird.
Ryan might be onto something. Look at what these kids have to say about those caramel things.
Smell like it.
Next, I visited the fine folks at Butler Athletics.
If black licorice is considered a candy, yeah,
No black licorice for me.
Probably Reese's.
When they gave you an apple. Halloween, not supposed to have fruit. I don't know, it's kind of odd.
Least favorite, Almond Joy. The coconut. Oh yeah.
I hated those, Almond Joy.
And lastly, I visited with my long-term friends, one of whom is a man-child.
There's really a couple. I hated saltwater taffy. It really bothered me, and I always imagined that's what it'd be like to chew on like a sailor. It's just terrible, terrible stuff. You know those little peanut butter things they're wrapped in orange and black? Those are pretty nasty too. Like, I don't know, like they rolled them up and then set them under a taxi driver's butt for 4 or 5 months before they decided to sell them to people. Pretty disgusting stuff. Candy corn. I never liked candy corn. It's crap too. I think they just recycle it like every year. They just go out to all the dumpsters and bag it up and resell it the next year.
Oh man, my mom used to drive us around to people's houses that we knew trying to find, those big candy bars. And we drove way out of the way to my old babysitter's house one time and she got us pennies. So that was the last time we ever went there. I hope my kids never have to go through something like that.
He's absolutely right. Pennies suck. Have you ever tried those? They're so gross. Yuck. But what I don't get is Almond Joy. Why do people not like these? These are delicious. Come on, give them another try. You know what people didn't mention? Popcorn balls. These, I don't know. These are so gross. Why in the world? These are what bitter old ladies make, so that way kids will stay far, far away from the house. But there's a redeeming quality to old people. I remember the old guy down the street that handed out juice boxes. That was cool. Way to go, old man. And while I hate to admit it, there are worse things that can happen on Halloween besides getting bad treats. For instance, my dog hates it when I dress him up. That and Halloween can be just plain dangerous. For some advice on how to stay safe this Halloween, I turned to Officer Tamat from the El Dorado Police Department.
Well, for the trick-or-treaters, I'd suggest that parents go with them. When they're a child, they're excited about getting to go out. They're excited they're getting to dress up. They're getting to go door to door to get candy. They kind of forget about basic rules of being safe. So parents need to go with them to make sure that they're not running out into the street in front of cars. Parents should also, when they take the children out, make sure they have something on their costume that's kind of reflective so other people can see them and vehicles and drivers can see them as well. So if you need to keep an eye out for if it's unpackaged things like popcorn or you got the homemade candies. Unfortunately, there are people out there who do want to try to harm people. So if you get those kind of candies there, it's best to just discard those. Or if you have candies that have been opened up, make sure you discard those. Just keep the ones that are already prepackaged. When you're an adult out celebrating Halloween, first thing is be responsible. If you're going to be drinking, find someone to drive for you. If you're going into stores, you're wearing a mask, make sure you take the masks off. So when you go into the stores, there are already going to be people coming in there. You're wearing a mask. They want to be able to see who's coming into the store. They don't want to be afraid of something else happening. So just be respectful to the businesses. Take your mask off when you go in. If you're out walking the streets, make sure you have it off so you can see where you're going.
The city of El Dorado is also sponsoring a new event this year.
They have the Trick or Treat with Main Street this year. It's going to be happening on Monday, October 31st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be down at the Gordy Square Park. It's going to also be going from the Gordy Square Park all the way to Main Street and Olive all the way up to Main Street and 1st Street. All the businesses will have stuff out where people can go trick or treat, get candy from them. Other businesses who aren't in that area will be down in Gordy Square Park. There'll be different events, different things kids can do to have fun. That way parents or kids who are going out trick or treating can go to one location. It's going to be a safe location and there'll be plenty of candy for the kids to get.
Well, there you go, some tips and tricks on how to stay safe this Halloween. I want to say a special thanks to Officer Tamat from the El Dorado Police Department, and from all of us at BCTV, have a fun and safe Halloween. I'm Matt Scharnhorst for Campus Edge.
Wow, that is a huge relief.
I'm glad to see you're doing better. May I ask what was wrong?
Well, I'd forgotten to get the groceries my mom needed to make the Halloween treats she gives out every year. That ended up being fine though, because it turns out kids rarely take unpackaged candy anyway.
That's it. That's what all of the community service and philosophical talk comes down to. Couldn't you have gone grocery shopping after the shoot?
I got a notification saying Dylan's had run out of wasabi seaweed. It's a key ingredient to our recipe. And I think you're underestimating the power my mom has in the town.
Well, whatever you usually cook, even if your mom is a powerful figure, it sounds awful.
It's really not. I'll bring you some.
No, please don't bother. Seriously, that doesn't sound like my cup of tea. Just buy a bag of candy for the trick-or-treaters.
If anyone listening with good taste in Halloween snacks enjoyed this episode, check out the reruns of the show weekdays at 11 a.m. or last week's show at 6:30 p.m. on BCTV Channel 20.
Or you can check them out on our YouTube channel.
This has been
The Campus Edge.